Exclusive contract with Feilu Novel Network Novel. Empress. Fake eunuch. At the beginning, I have a simulator. Ren Fei unexpectedly traveled to a world where martial arts were paramount and became a fake eunuch. In the palace full of crisis, Ren Fei activated the life simulator. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the heart method. Yin Yang Secret Classic, Golden. Congratulations to the host for obtaining. Cooking skills, Gold. Congratulations to the host for obtaining. Medicine, Gold. Congratulations to the host for obtaining. Mechanism technique, Gold. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the true dragon blood, Gold. Activating the true dragon blood, Gold, and obtaining the true dragon body, Gold. With her culinary skills in hand, she effortlessly grasps the unappealing third princess of foodies. To avoid death, the gold medal is in hand, and the Empress who impersonates the chief attendant should be appointed as a maid. Until one day, the Empress couldn't help but curse loudly. You're a little fly, rebellious and rebellious. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Opening your eyes and becoming a respectful room, encountering bad things. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I don't want to be a eunuch. I haven't gotten married yet, and I'm the only male in my family. My family wants to be the best. You, don't come over here. If you dare to touch me, I won't let you go even if I'm a ghost. Ah. Southern Imperial Palace Jingshi Room. Ren Fei suddenly opened his eyes from his sleep. The heart-wrenching and lung-wrenching sound in my ears suddenly stirred me up. I have lost most of my drowsiness. Thinking of the sound I heard before, I felt a sense of doubt in my heart. How big a mistake did Mr. Wang next door make to make such a heart-wrenching sound? Is it difficult for someone to have an affair and be discovered by their wife? Was it cut off? Otherwise, you wouldn't have shouted so sadly, would you? I couldn't help but see the tall figure and beautiful face of the daughter-in-law of old Wang next door in front of me. Ren Fei couldn't help but secretly smack his tongue in his heart. There is such a beautiful wife who is still fooling around. It's okay to just mess around outside, but I still brought it home. He's really an old six. It's all right now. Car overturned. The key is that old Wang doesn't look very good yet. He lives in a rental house and doesn't have much money or skills in his pocket. I don't know where old Wang's wife and the mistress are interested in him. I think he is handsome and talented, but still single to this day. It's really death from drought, death from waterlogging. Ren Fei feels powerless to say a word in his heart. Just as I was about to continue sleeping, a pale, feminine face appeared before my eyes, resembling a dead person's face. Oh no. I was startled and goosebumps couldn't help but emerge. Sleeping trough, who are you? Why are you at my house? Returning to his senses, Ren Fei couldn't help but curse loudly. Fist clenched tightly, ready to stand up and give the pervert in front of him a punch. Before he could punch, Ren Fei's gaze became frightened. Because he can't move at all. Until now, he realized that he was not sleeping in his own bed. The whole person lay on a wooden board, with their hands and feet tightly tied to the board with hemp ropes as thick as their thumbs. No matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't muster any strength. I only have a pair of white shorts left on my body. Seeing this scene, Ren Fei's cold sweat couldn't help but burst out. The original drowsiness disappeared instantly, and countless images came to mind. Change/state/kill/person/crazy. A strange man suddenly appears in a certain community, targeting men specifically. Change/state/crime. Thinking of this, Ren Fei tightened his grip and quickly spoke up. Big brother, let's have a good conversation. The wallet is under the pillow, although it's not much, it's all for you. Let's not, don't be impulsive, I have hemorrhoids. The person with a pale complexion and a soft body has a slight hunch. He also looks like he's in his 50s or 60s, with a fair and gloomy complexion and no beard on his face. Looking at the clothing on his body, Ren Fei was once again inspired. A deep blue robe embroidered with floral patterns, wearing a unique crown hat on the head. Isn't this the eunuch we often see in TV dramas? And he is also an old eunuch. What is this? Is the broad silk spectrum tiring? But why is he a eunuch? And is this too similar? I saw the old eunuch give Ren Fei a cold glare. What big brother, no big or small, called father.in.law. The gloomy and very sharp voice of a rooster makes one unable to resist the chill from behind. I don't know if the affair with the old Wang next door has been discovered, but he has really encountered a change of attitude. What sin did he create? The old eunuch said, with a slightly soft smile on his face, the kid's spirit is quite good, and he's not confused at all. However, this is the Jingsha room, not your home yet. When you get through this hurdle and your body recovers, which palace will you be assigned to? That will be your home. The gloomy and sharp voice made people panic at the first sound. Ren Fei is not doing well either. Quickly nodded, yes, gong, gong. Whatever he says, leave the green mountains behind, not afraid of having no firewood to burn. However, immediately, Ren Fei realized that he had noticed the surrounding environment and asked in surprise. Wait a moment, are you saying this is the Jingsha room? The red round wooden beams, the spacious sloping roof of the house, surrounded by wooden walls and paper windows, exude a retro style. On his left side, there was also a thin and hideous man who was either dead or unconscious. The sound just now was not the sound of old Wang's infidelity being discovered next door, it was actually made by this guy. This dead transformation/attitude/old eunuch is to make him become a eunuch along with him. Thinking of this, Ren Fei's face turned pale. He didn't even have time to say goodbye properly. Surprisingly, that's all. No, it's not right, he shouldn't be sleeping in the rental room now, how could he be in this place? You can't just be brought here without feeling anything, can you? Dreaming. How could this down-to-earth feeling be a dream? Filming. There's no camera, how could it be filming? A prank. If anyone dares to joke with him like this, they won't even have to do it as friends. Just as Ren Fei was panicking, a warm current rushed into his mind. Ren Fei's body trembled again, and some memories that did not originally belong to him also appeared in his mind. Countless images flooded into my mind like a movie. Ren Fei was completely stunned in place. Looking at Ren Fei's appearance, the old eunuch couldn't help but sigh with relief and say, "This is not the Jingsha room. Do you think you can enter the palace directly? There can only be eunuchs in the harem, not men." The old eunuch spoke and gently patted Ren Fei's shoulder before continuing. Let's be more open-minded. Being a eunuch is actually not a bad thing. Apart from losing one's genitalia, everything else should be eaten, drunk, and there's no difference from being a normal person. You look like a talented person. In the future, if any princess falls in love with you and takes you as a close eunuch, you will be indispensable for your glory, wealth, and status. It's better than being homeless outside and starving to death. The old eunuch spoke and then turned back to the thin and weak man next to him, who was either dead or alive and had just finished his work. After a little probing of his pulse and breathing, he shook his head helplessly, and the rooster's voice shouted out towards the outside, "Dead, come in and drag it away." The sound fell, and the two eunuchs finally pushed the door in. First, he bowed to the old eunuch, and then he looked at the man on the chopping board with a fierce but lifeless expression. After careful examination and confirming that he was truly dead, he stepped forward and untied the hemp rope from the man's hands and feet, lifting it out. Author Mushroom. New book released, Kneeling Down for All Data. Chapter 2. A world respected by martial arts, life simulator. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This person, it's better to be more open-minded. Since you have entered this palace, whether you voluntarily or unwillingly, it is your fate to become a eunuch. The old eunuch sighed slightly, then picked up a small knife with a cold light and walked to the stone that was ready at any time, gently grinding it. Cheng. 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 Dot. The sound of sharpening the knife went on, and Ren Fei's heart trembled one after another. His face was also filled with shock and disbelief. He never expected it. He actually time travel. That's right, it's not a dream, it's not filming, let alone some people's pranks. But it's about time travel. Kyushu continent, respecting martial arts. This is not a simple ancient world, but a martial arts world with an internal cultivation system that allows people to unleash powerful abilities. Following the cultivation system, the martial arts realm is divided into, the day after tomorrow, the 9th grade has the highest 1st grade and the lowest 9th grade. On the day after tomorrow, there will be the innate realm, the master realm, the grand master realm, and the legendary ethereal land realm of heaven and humanity. Southern country. Along with valuing martial arts, there was also a female emperor, the first female emperor in the history of the Kyushu continent. Even more so, it is the only surviving master in the world today. The Empress ruled, and the status of women in the southern regions was greatly elevated. There are not only many female officials in the court, but also many female generals and soldiers. According to legend, Empress Nan Yenyu was all alone and proud, with no room for men in her eyes. However, she couldn't resist the advice of the court officials, so she passed the secret method and gave birth to 9 daughters. The meaning is that the dragon bears 9 sons, each stunning and unparalleled. And each of them inherited the beauty of Nan Yenyu. Each one was beautiful, but each had their own unique strengths. Of course, these are all from someone else's house, and he became an unlucky reminder that he had been deceived and was about to become a eunuch after only 3 taels of silver went into the purification room. My name is also Ren Fei. Thinking of this, Ren Fei's heart was filled with helplessness. Naming is really a technical job. A good name is essential for traveling. A clever name and a remarkable identity. His name is quite good, but it's just not good. Others have traveled, but I will not mention Nyo's identity for now. Even ordinary people rely on their modern wisdom or golden fingers. No matter how difficult it is, one can still be on the wealthy side, with wives and concubines in groups. But what about him? Just as he arrived, he was about to be cut off and become a eunuch. What's the point of giving him an incredible golden finger, just like everyone else? Is it difficult to grow again? Thinking so, Ren Fei's heart became increasingly bitter. Oh my God, make him play. Life simulator activation binding in progress, please wait for 1%, 2%, 3%. The life simulator has been successfully bound. Congratulations to the host for opening the simulation life. The host can conduct life simulation and deduction based on the current situation, timely discover, avoid, and correct errors, and gain more opportunities. A mechanical and electronic sound system that was different from the previous one, which was leisurely and empty, sounded cold and icy. A light flashed before Ren Fei's eyes. Golden finger, he also has it. Life simulator. Discover, avoid and correct mistakes, and gain more opportunities. Does that mean he has the opportunity to find a way out of difficulties through life simulations? No matter what, we can't let this old eunuch really cut him off. With this thought in mind, Ren Fei's heart accelerated once again, and his blood began to ignite. We must find a way out of poverty. He has only traveled through this difficult time, but he really doesn't want to be a eunuch. Ren Fei's eyes were blazing as he was about to start his deduction when the sound of the old eunuch grinding his knife stopped, and the soft and sharp voice of the male duck rang out again. What are you muttering about? Don't think about it, just be a eunuch honestly. I have been in this courtroom for almost 20 years, and no man has ever left the palace alive. Either you become a eunuch, or you can only become a corpse like the one you just did, and throw it to the outskirts of the city to feed the wolves. The old eunuch said, with a slightly sinister smile on his face, and walked straight towards Ren Fei. The small knife in his hand was shining with cold light, and Ren Fei's cold sweat came out directly from behind. Is this old eunuch in a hurry to get reincarnated, so anxious? At least let him deduce it once. Brother, don't, let's have a good conversation. Don't worry, let's talk for a while. Hey, brother, it's not, Grandpa. This blade is very sharp. We're getting old, so don't play with it. Let's take a break. Ren Fei struggled to retreat. But his hands and feet were all bound, and even the thumb-thick hemp rope was constantly being worn by a strong man, not to mention him. The old eunuch had no intention of stopping at all. He looked at Ren Fei and spoke calmly. It has to be cut sooner or later, it's better to have a short pain than a long one. Don't worry, I've been in the Jingsha room for almost 20 years. The knife is fast, it doesn't hurt. The old eunuch said as he picked up a wine gourd from his waist and took a sip. Pup alcohol disinfection made the cold light on the knife seem brighter. Don't. Let's discuss it again. Don't be so anxious. Ren Fei's pupils narrowed, his veins on his hands and neck were exposed, and his whole body was filled with resistance. This matter cannot be discussed. The eunuch said, hands up. The room has quieted down. Ren Fei was sweating profusely, as if he had just taken a shower. Watching the old eunuch hurriedly leave to welcome the envoy of the Changle Palace, Ren Fei felt relieved. It's okay, this knife didn't fall so hastily. Suddenly, a palace maid from a certain palace approached, and it seemed that her identity was not simple. The old eunuch quickly went to greet her. Simulator, how to deduce. Quickly deduce for me. Whether my brother can survive depends on you. I have never eaten pork, but I have always seen pigs running. He, who was familiar with various online novels, immediately connected to the life simulator in his heart. Life simulator can simulate unlimited life for the host. Each simulation will randomly obtain 3 talents. After the simulation, 1 talent can be retained, and only 1 talent can be retained daily. It can be replaced at any time before 0.00 every day. Talent level: white, blue, purple, red, gold. May I ask if the host is conducting the first simulation to gain more opportunities? Inference: it's all burning with anger, but there's no time for him to delay here. He must find a solution to this crisis before the old eunuch returns. Random talent generation in progress. Chapter 3. Princess Fury, you die. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Eloquent. Blue talent. Possessing this talent will enhance your language ability and improve your communication skills with others. Good physical strength. With the white talent, you will have excellent physical strength. Careful. With the white talent, you will observe carefully and increase your chances of survival. Talent generation successful. Life simulation begins. A dialogue panel similar to holographic online games began to appear in front of Ren Fei, and lines of text also began to emerge. On the first day, you were unable to escape the old eunuch's knife and truly become a eunuch. After purification, you were thrown into a dedicated room for cultivation. On the first day of simulation, Ren Fei's heart suddenly cooled. On the second day, as you were on the brink of death, you were recovering and did nothing. On the third day, with your impressive physical strength, you recovered first and were then assigned to work at the third princess of Changqiu Palace, Luoqing. You accidentally discovered that there is only one eunuch in Changqiu Palace, and the reason is that the third princess is stubborn and likes to kill eunuchs who are not pleasing to her. Worried about your own life, you became even more cautious and became closer to the palace maids of Changqiu Palace, who had a good impression of you. Seeing that there was still no way out of the predicament, Ren Fei became somewhat anxious. Moreover, seeing that there was only him as a eunuch in Changqiu Palace, Ren Fei felt even more helpless in his heart. Does this old eunuch still say that being a eunuch may lead to prosperity and prosperity? No matter how bad it is, it won't die. Is this called not dying? This is even more dangerous than feeding tigers. Pooh. Almost brainwashed by that old eunuch, he didn't want to be a eunuch. He needs to find a way out now, preferably to leave the palace unharmed. On the 4th day, you carefully spent a day of hard work. On the 9th day, you accidentally heard 2 palace maids discussing that eunuch Rengongang, the steward of the pure body room, had died of illness last night. You approached and learned some details about Duke Ren. Rengongang's original name was Ren Fei. His hometown was Yunmu Village, Liangtian County, Hangzhou. He also had a younger brother named Ren Tian. Before his death, his only wish was to return to his hometown and see if he had any descendants, but unfortunately, his wish was not fulfilled. As soon as the news of the 9th day came out, a ray of light flashed before Ren Fei's eyes. Found it. He said that God finally allowed him to travel through time and would not mistreat him. On the 10th day, the 3rd princess, Luoqing, was going to take a shower. You were responsible for filling the bath with water and happened to encounter Luoqing changing clothes. The first time you saw Luoqing's stunning appearance and tall figure, you were stunned and bleeding from your nose. Luoqing's icy and pure body has never been seen by a man, even eunuchs. Luoqing was furious and ordered you to be executed. You're dead, host death, simulation is over. This simulation lasts for 10 days with a cooldown of 10 minutes. Congratulations to the host, who has survived in the simulator for 10 days and obtained 100 deduction points. The host can use deduction points for lucky draws. 1,000 deduction points can be used for a basic lottery, 10,000 deduction points can be used for one intermediate lottery, 100,000 deduction points can be used for a high-level lottery. The higher the level of the lottery, the greater the probability of winning a high-level item. The simulation is over. Please select the talent that needs to be preserved by the host. The continuous sound of prompts sounded, and Ren Fei looked at the prompt messages in the dialogue box one after another in surprise. Is this dead? Did you catch Luoqing changing clothes and still have nosebleeds? When did he become so unpopular? How beautiful Luoqing must be to make him look like this. How unlucky he must be to encounter such a thing. Please select the talents that need to be preserved as soon as possible, and replace the current day's talents before midnight every day. The prompt sound rang again, and Ren Fei regained his senses. After a moment of hesitation, he chose the blue talent, which is eloquent and eloquent. The way to break the game has been found, and the next step is to test his eloquence. This is the only blue talent among the 3, so it is naturally the first choice. Successful selection. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the blue talent. Eloquence and eloquence. Tip. 5 articulate blue talents can be advanced to synthesize purple talents of the same type. It can also be synthesized. Upon seeing this message, Ren Fei's eyes lit up again. I didn't expect that the talent could still be upgraded. In this way, when he encounters bad luck, he can choose the same type of talent and soon acquire new qualities of talent. Even obtaining a golden talent is not impossible. Of course, it also depends on luck. After all, he doesn't know how many randomly generated talents there are. Selection successful. Just like the warm current that fused memories before, another new warm current flooded into Ren Fei's body once again. In the next moment, Ren Fei felt his mind clear a lot. The tongue has also become much more agile, with a strong sense of fighting against scholars. Crunch. Before I could think much, the room door was pushed open again. The old eunuch also walked in from outside, with a faint smile on his soft face. Looking at the old eunuch, Ren Fei's face also showed a slight smile, and his gaze at the other person changed. Arriving at Ren Fei's side, the old eunuch picked up the small knife again. Seeing that Ren Fei suddenly seemed to have changed a person, he was also somewhat surprised. What, you figured it out? The old eunuch smiled faintly, thinking that he had gone out for a while, and Ren Fei had already figured it out. With a pleased nod, he said. I've figured it out, I can save a lot of suffering. Judging from your appearance, you are also a poor person. In the future, you can be a eunuch in the palace with peace of mind. Don't worry, my knife is fast and doesn't hurt. The old eunuch said and approached Ren Fei again. Ren Fei dared not delay and quickly spoke up, I heard from my father.In.Law before that you have been in the palace for 20 years. I wonder if you know a father.In.Law named Ren Fu from Liangtian County, Hangzhou. The old eunuch was taken aback for a moment, followed by a stern gaze, vigilantly observing Ren Fei, Ren Fu. How do you know this name? Who are you? Chapter 4. Persuading Old Eunuchs, Psychopaths. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking at the reaction of the eunuch, Ren Fei had already confirmed that the information from the simulator was true. With a calm mind, he pretended to be puzzled and asked. Are you? The old eunuch didn't rush to answer, but looked at Ren Fei seriously. But he also withdrew the small knife from his hand and asked coldly. Now it's me asking you, who are you, why do you know Ren Fu, and what do you want him to do? Ren Fei felt a bit helpless, the old eunuch was quite careful. However, he continued to lament. My name is Ren Fei, and Ren Fu is my uncle. The flood 2 years ago, the severe drought last year, and another plague broke out in Yinmu village. My parents and relatives all died. My father said before his death that he also had an older brother named Ren Fu who worked in the palace. I came to Linzhou this time to find my uncle. Ren Fei's voice was filled with helplessness, as if he was truly isolated and helpless. But it's also true. Suddenly making him travel to this place, it's still like this scene. Isn't it just being aloof and helpless? The old eunuch thought before he died, since he wanted to go back to his hometown to see if he had any future. He is now impersonating his younger brother's son, and it is impossible for this old eunuch to personally kill his younger brother's descendants, right? Sure enough, listening to Ren Fei's words, the old eunuch's hands trembled and his expression changed. Judging from the appearance of the eunuch, Ren Fei knew that this matter was almost done. But I still gave it a strong dose of medicine. With a low expression, he said. My uncle is in the palace, but the palace doesn't mean you can enter just by entering. I inquired about the way to enter the palace everywhere, and one day, a few people suddenly came and said there was a way for me to enter the palace, and there was also money to take. I immediately agreed. But who knew he was going to the palace to become a eunuch? As Ren Fei spoke, he became even more immersed and lost, saying. I haven't gotten married yet. I am the only one left in the old Ren family now. If I become a eunuch, then the old Ren family will be extinct. What face do I have to meet the ancestors of the Ren family? Sure enough, upon hearing these words, the old eunuch's body trembled again. My eyes suddenly became moist. Slowly approaching Ren Fei's side, his eyes filled with tenderness, with a trembling voice, he said. Child, I am your uncle. With a hint of excitement and crying, my heart is even more grateful. Fortunately, he was in the Jingshi room, and fortunately, he listened to what Ren Fei said and did not rush to take action. Otherwise, the seeds of their old Ren family would really be in his hands. Are you my uncle? Ren Fei looked incredulous. I have been in the palace for 25 years and stayed in the Jingshi room for 20 years, never going back. It's normal to see that you're not even 20 years old and haven't seen me before. Besides, my disabled body and appearance have also changed, but it doesn't matter. Child, I am your uncle, the unfilial son of the old Ren family in Yinmu village, Liangtian County. Father Ren Yong is a blacksmith in the village. He has a younger brother named Ren Tian, also known as Tian War. If he were still alive now, he should be around 40 or 6. It seems that Ren Fei is worried that he won't believe what he says, and the old eunuch has also revealed his family background. My gaze became profound, and my eyes couldn't help but become a bit moist. Uncle, you are really my uncle. Life is like a play, it all depends on acting skills. After integrating his talent for eloquence, Ren Fei's tongue and brain became much clearer. Ren Fei also looked excited. He knew that only by convincing the eunuch could he have the opportunity to leave the palace unscathed. "Uncle, I don't want to be a eunuch. I haven't gotten married yet. If I become a eunuch, then our Lao Ren family will be extinct. I was tricked in by them. Can you help me find a way to leave the palace? Anyway, the palace cannot stay any longer. Even if he really becomes a eunuch. It can be calculated according to the simulator, and with the blessing of 3 talents. Being cautious, eloquent, and physically strong. I only lived for 10 days. Who knows how much danger awaits him from behind? If we could leave, who would be willing to stay in this haunted place?" Listening to Ren Fei's words, the old eunuch quickly nodded. He only has Ren Fei as a descendant, how could he really cut off Ren Fei and let himself have no offspring? But soon, the old eunuch's face became bitter again. Ren Fei always paid attention to the expression of the old eunuch. Seeing this appearance, my heart also felt a thump. Exploringly, he asked again. "Can't you get out?" The old eunuch nodded and sighed slightly. "What I told you before was not to scare you. If you enter this palace, you will either become a eunuch or only be a corpse, throwing you outside the city to feed wild beasts. Can't I fake death then?" Ren Fei had no choice but to break the rules. With such a ban, this southern country cannot last long at first glance. The eunuch shook his head again and explained. "When leaving the palace gate, there will be layers of inspections, and those are highly skilled guards with martial arts skills. It is impossible for ordinary people to fake death and leave the palace without telling the truth." Ren Fei also forgot that this is not an ordinary world and cannot be used in the same way as ordinary people. "Isn't that me?" Ren Fei's face was full of bitterness. He thought he could convince the eunuch to leave, but who knew there were so many restrictions? My gaze fell on the simulator again. The 10-minute cooldown has not yet arrived, and he cannot continue to simulate and find new ways out. Now, there is only one way. The eunuch saw the despair on Ren Fei's face and muttered to himself, gritting his teeth in his heart as if he had made a decision. The small knife in hand swung again, and a cold light emerged again. Ren Fei's heart trembled once again, and he suddenly became flustered. "Hey! What are you doing? Didn't you say you don't want to be extinct? Don't come over here." Watching the old eunuch getting closer and closer to him, Ren Fei struggled again, his veins exposed in his hands and feet. He remembers often saying on television in his past life that these eunuchs were actually somewhat abnormal in their hearts due to their disabilities. This old guy probably thinks he can't get out anyway, so why not let him stay as a eunuch to accompany him? Struggling, Ren Fei only felt a sour sensation in his neck, and then his eyes turned black and he lost consciousness. Before falling into a coma, Ren Fei had only 2 words in his heart: "It's over. Don't worry, I won't let the old Ren family become extinct." Watching the unconscious Ren Fei, the eunuch muttered to himself and then came to Ren Fei's side. And then directly hands up, knife falling. Chapter 5. Red Talent and Golden Mind Technique. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Open your eyes again. The surroundings were dimly lit, still made of wooden beams, sloping roofs, red pillars, wooden walls, and paper windows. However, the wooden board under him has been replaced with a bed, and his hands and feet are no longer bound. As his memory gradually recovered, Ren Fei's expression suddenly gave a cold wave and his hand quickly leaned under him. Still there. Ren Fei let out a long sigh of relief. He thought the old eunuch was really distracted and crazy, but when he knew he couldn't go out, he broke the jar and fell. Now it seems that he has wrongly blamed the old eunuch. Unfortunately, he is not the son of Ren Tian in Yinmu village, Liangtian County, Hangzhou. Even the memories of our predecessors do not contain this information. Although they all have the surname Ren, it is purely a coincidence. Of course what he told the eunuch before was not entirely false. It's better to say it's his own version in this world than his predecessor. Not to mention the same name, their appearance is also similar. But the age has decreased. Before crossing over, he was already 20.4 years old, while Ren Fei in this world was only about 17 or 18. Up. In my zodiac year, there really isn't much good going on. This Tai Sui has committed too much. Ren Fei in this world has also been living a miserable life. For example, he suffered from floods 2 years ago and droughts last year. In order to survive, he had no choice but to come to Linzhou. That is the imperial capital. I was originally thinking of finding a way out. Then he was fooled by a few people who suggested that he could go to the palace to find a job and give him 3 taels of silver when he entered. Speaking of his predecessor, he was also foolish. The palace job is just a eunuch. I almost ended up risking my life for 3 taels of silver. Thinking of his predecessor's experience, Ren Fei couldn't help but sigh. From this perspective, even this southern country cannot grow. For 2 consecutive years of natural disasters, the government has been busy and disorganized, even unable to afford food. If the enemy country were to invade at this time, it would definitely be a divine opportunity. Fortunately, the things were still there, and Ren Fei completely let go. Although he couldn't escape from the palace, but no matter what, no need to be a eunuch. Looking around, he was not the only one in the entire room. There were still 5 or 6 thin, pale-looking men lying around, almost on the brink of death. No, it's not right to be precise, I am now a eunuch. Next to each person's pillow, there is a set of eunuch uniforms. Obviously, they were replaced when they recovered. Of course, Ren Fei is not in a hurry to put on his clothes. If he goes out now, 9 out of 10 people would suspect that he hasn't been cut. There is one person who is certain about it. Covering people's ears and eyes. From the current perspective, he can only develop lewdly in this palace for a period of time. Wait until you find a suitable opportunity to escape in the future. With a thought, the dialogue box of the life simulator reappeared. The 10-minute cooling time has already passed, and he can simulate again. Without any hesitation, Ren Fei directly chose to simulate. He has now become a fake eunuch and is becoming increasingly dangerous in this palace. He also urgently needs to hurry up and simulate now. See what happens after he becomes a fake eunuch. Random talent generation in progress. In the dialogue box, the light began to change. Soon, the light appeared. A red light began to flicker. Seeing this light, Ren Fei was stunned for a moment again. Red talent. Surprisingly, a red talent appeared this time. Ren Fei's heart couldn't help but accelerate. You should know that the highest is just a golden talent. Red, it can already be considered a small masterpiece. Thinking of the wonderful feeling brought by being able to speak eloquently before, that is truly the blue talent. Red talent. Thinking about it makes people look forward to it. By my tong tong. A red talent that allows the body's meridians and orifices to be unobstructed, and there will be no obstacles during cultivation, greatly improving the cultivation speed. Endurance is not bad. With this white talent, one's own endurance will be greatly improved. Kitchen white. White talent. Possessing this talent will improve one's cooking skills. By my tong tong. Looking at the introduction later, Ren Fei's eyes lit up again. This is better than being able to speak eloquently, it's more than one level. Talent generation successful, life simulation begins. On the first day, you officially become a fake eunuch. In order to survive in the palace, you decide to have a lewd development and find an opportunity to sneak out of the palace again. You stayed in the room all day to avoid attracting others' attention. On the second day, you still stayed in the room all day and nothing happened. On the third day, under the operation of the old eunuch Ren Fu, you were arranged to be responsible for cleaning the library, you start paying attention to the books on the bookshelf of the library, hoping to find some martial arts secrets that can be practiced, but in the end, you get nothing. When you were cleaning, you encountered a peerless and luxurious woman who was like a fairy in the sky, beyond the reach of even the most popular little flowers on TV in the future. You speculate that the other party's identity is not simple, at least she is also a female official with a decent status in the palace, and may even be a princess. She is looking for a book about agriculture, and you can help search for it. Click to find location information. In the middle, she chatted for a while, and the other person appreciated you very much. On the fourth day, you met that fairy-like female official again. You learned from her that she is a female official responsible for managing the affairs of the harem and the chief attendant. You were greatly surprised that a eunuch should be so beautiful. At the same time, you also breathed a slight sigh of relief in your heart. As long as it wasn't for the princess, everything would be easy to say. You talked about some topics about agriculture again, and with your modern thinking and pattern, the girl appreciates you even more. On the fifth day, while cleaning, you discovered a dark grid in a very hidden corner on the first floor. Upon opening it, it turned out to be a cultivation secret called Yin Yang Secret Classic, Golden. Curiously opening it up, you are amazed to find that it was left by a fake eunuch who infiltrated the harem 100 years ago. Not only can it conceal the eunuch's identity, but it also allows you to do whatever you want in the harem with this skill. With this secret scripture, the person quickly cultivated to the level of a master and became a generation of strong ones. But in the end, the incident occurred when the emperor of the southern kingdom summoned all the experts from the world, a strong master of the great master realm, and 3 strong masters of the great master realm to jointly attack and kill him. After reading it, you were amazed and quickly started reading it seriously, hoping to write down all the content in the book. Unfortunately, time is tight, and in order not to be discovered, you cannot take the book out of the library without permission. You have to decide to read a little every day until you completely remember it. On the 5th day of the day, Ren Fei's eyes lit up with a sudden burst of information. Golden Heart Technique. A fake eunuch, with this set of mind techniques, has actually cultivated to the level of a master. Most importantly, there is also a way to conceal the identity of a eunuch. Ren Fei secretly prayed in his heart. He must strive for excellence in the future and make a note of it. Chapter 6. Yin Yang Secret Classic, entering the 9th rank. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. On the 6th day, as usual, you came to the library to clean up. After cleaning, you avoided the gaze of others and continued to remember. On the 7th day, you finally wrote down all of the Yin Yang Secret Code. The full text of the Yin Yang Secret Code details can be found. You have extraordinary talent and 100 meridians throughout your body. In less than half an hour of cultivation, you have developed an internal power cyclone and successfully entered the ranks of 9th grade martial artists. Looking at the addition of detectable details later on, Ren Fei's heart almost jumped to his throat. Can you really watch it directly? Suppressing the excitement of jumping up with excitement, Ren Fei directly clicked to investigate the details. Sparkling light soon, all the detailed content about the Yin Yang Secret Code appeared before Ren Fei's eyes. Sure enough. Ren Fei's heart became ecstatic. With this Yin Yang Secret Code, he no longer has to worry about being easily exposed as a fake eunuch. He is not so anxious anymore. At this moment, Ren Fei also completely let go of his worries. With the life simulator, he doesn't even need to go to the library in person, let alone wait for 20 days. Now he can practice according to the content above. However, once it was confirmed that he could check, he was not in a hurry anymore. Continuing to watch the subsequent deduction. On the 8th day, while cleaning the library, you encountered the resentful 3rd Princess Luoqing, who was once again amazed by her beauty. But you were already prepared and didn't dare to watch too much. But you were still caught and given basic literary books. On the way, you accidentally discover that you only need to be by the woman's side, and the Yin Yang Secret Code will automatically operate. And by the side of Luoqing, the speed of operation is much faster than by the side of Nan Luoqing's palace maids. You have an outstanding appearance, and because you are not a real eunuch, your body lacks a bit of eunuch softness. Nan Luoqing seems to be quite pleased with you and directly took you back to Changqiu Palace, citing the lack of a coolie eunuch. After wandering around, he unexpectedly returned to the Changqiu Palace. Isn't Nan Luoqing specifically targeting him? However, with a woman by her side, the Yin Yang Secret Code can operate on its own, and even faster by Nan Luoqing's side than by Ningxuang's side. This is worth noting. Perhaps the person who created the secret code back then also used this method to quickly break through the Great Master realm. On the 9th day, you became a eunuch in the Changqiu Palace, responsible for doing some heavy work. At the same time, because you often speak astonishingly and display some knowledge, you successfully caught the attention of Nan Luoqing. On the 10th day, you diligently studied and practiced the Yin Yang Secret Classic. Your internal qi condensed into a flow, and because the 100 meridians were connected, you easily spread throughout your body, successfully entering the 8th level realm. You, who are in a good mood, happen to meet Ningxuang, the close mate of Nan Luoqing, who confessed to you. Ningxuang has a sweet appearance, and although she may not be considered a stunning beauty, she is also a rare beauty. You accepted Frost's confession and brought her back to the room, demonstrating remarkable endurance. On the 11th day, you and Ningxuang tasted the essence and knew the taste. On the 12th day, you still sneak around. On the 13th day, your relationship with Ningxuang was discovered by Nan Luoqing, and your identity as a fake eunuch was discovered by Nan Luoqing. You died. Ren Fei's guess is absolutely correct. This Nan Luoqing is his nemesis. Twice. He died twice in a row at the hands of this unruly and stubborn third princess. Post-death, simulation is over. This simulation lasts for 13 days with a cooldown of 13 minutes. Congratulations to the host, who has survived in the simulator for 13 days and obtained 130 deduction points. The simulation is over, and the host can choose to change or replace a talent. Before 0.00 every day, daily talents can be freely replaced, but after clicking, they cannot be replaced again. Replace eloquent and eloquent with 100 meridians with a clear understanding. One is the blue talent, and the other is the red talent. There is no need to hesitate, just replace it directly. Replacement successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the red talent. 100 veins with Tong Tong. Tip. There are 10 red talents of 100 maids with Tong Tong that can be advanced to synthesize gold talents of the same type. Surprisingly, there are 10 red synthetic gold. Now it seems that obtaining the golden talent is not so easy. A warm feeling flooded into the body again. Then immerse oneself in all 4 limbs and organs. The body feels like entering a sauna, feeling indescribably relaxed and comfortable all over. By my Tong Tong, the effect of the red talent truly lives up to its reputation. Ren Fei simply closed his eyes and felt it carefully. Okay, for a while this comfortable feeling slowly dissipated. Ren Fei felt that his body had become much lighter and full of strength from top to bottom. Now he can easily defeat the previous one. Retract thoughts. Ren Fei's gaze returned once again to the simulation panel. This time I lived for 13 days, which can be considered an improvement compared to the previous time. And last time he became a eunuch, he just rested for 7 days. I only rested for 2 days this time, and it's already quite good to be able to survive until now. At the same time, it also reminded him, without absolute strength, his identity as a fake eunuch cannot be discovered. You should know that the person who created the Yin Yang Secret Classic has already cultivated to the level of a master, but in the end, he also ended up being attacked and killed. You should know, compared to the Southern Palace at that time, the current Southern Palace is more dangerous. Empress Nanyan Yu was originally a strong master in the realm of the Grand Master, and she was also the only one. With his small arms and legs, even a single finger could crush him to death. In a world where martial arts are paramount, strength is the top priority, and he must become stronger as soon as possible. The fusion of the innate abilities of the 100 meridians, Ren Fei's gaze once again fell on the content of the Yin Yang Secret Classic. The mental technique judged as golden by the simulator is really exciting. Concentrate and calm one's mind. I tried to practice according to the breathing method recorded in the secret scripture. Time flies by. Half an hour later, 3 inches below the navel, at the dantian area. A warm current slowly emerges with the change of breath, gradually converging into a small cyclone. At the same time, Ren Fei's aura gradually changed, and the man's masculinity was cleverly concealed. Underneath him, a warm current enveloped him again and slowly disappeared. Feeling these, Ren Fei finally breathed a deep sigh of relief. At a critical moment, he used his internal strength, and no one could detect his identity as a fake eunuch. Unfortunately, he has just reached the 9th grade and lacks internal strength, so he cannot maintain it for a long time. Otherwise, as long as he is unwilling, no one can discover his identity as a fake eunuch. Chapter 7. The Conquering Star of Southern Luoqing, Facing Difficulties and Advancing Up. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Host. Ren Fei, Identity. Fake Eunuch of the Southern Palace, Realm. Grade 9, Mind Method. Yin Yang Secret Classic, Golden, Martial Arts. Currently unavailable talent. By my Tong Tong, red, can be replaced before 0 o'clock, inference point. 230 points. In the dialog box of the simulator, a property panel about himself is displayed in front of him. It's very monotonous. But everything has just started, and it's quite normal. Practicing internal force cyclones is just the first step. To become stronger, you need to condense more internal force through internal force cyclones. Of course, Ren Fei did not forget about the simulation. While practicing, I continued on the path of life simulation. The night gradually deepened. Too many things happened on this day, and Ren Fei couldn't hold on anymore. He fell into a deep sleep. After falling asleep and waking up naturally, I opened my eyes again and it was already noon the next day. As soon as he opened his eyes, the old eunuch's gloomy and lifeless face appeared again in front of him. Ren Fei was once again startled and sat up straight. You. Ren Fei quickly looked around. I found that it was still the room where I rested last night. Quickly probing towards the rest, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. He is really afraid that he just had a dream. Awakened from his dream, he truly became a eunuch. Seeing Ren Fei's nervous expression, the old eunuch's face also showed a slight smile. Explain. Don't worry, I'm your uncle. Do we really want to make it impossible for the Lao Ren family to succeed? You're hungry, this is the food I brought you. Eat it quickly. As the eunuch spoke, he brought a food box to the bedside, slowly open. There is water, mantou, and chicken legs inside. Ren Fei also swallowed unconsciously, picked up mantou with one hand and chicken leg with the other, and began to enjoy himself. The old eunuch looked on contentedly, his face full of joy, and softly said, I have already arranged it for you. From now on, you can go clean the library. Although it's a bit tiring, it's actually the safest thing to do. Just clean it once in the morning and once in the evening. I have also arranged your place of residence. The several eunuchs in the courtyard have all received my favor and will not make things difficult for you. Be cautious when sleeping or taking a shower, don't let anyone notice. The old eunuch patiently explained, and Ren Fei also stopped. At this moment, he suddenly felt that the old eunuch was no longer so annoying. Thinking that the old eunuch would pass away in a few days, Ren Fei couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Unfortunately, with his current abilities, he couldn't even save the old eunuch. Okay, I remember uncle. You should also pay more attention to your health. If you feel any discomfort, remember to go see a doctor. Ren Fei nodded and instructed the old eunuch to get up. Okay, hurry up and eat. If you rest in your room for another day today and go out tomorrow, no one will doubt you. At most, I just think you have a good physique and are recovering quickly. The eunuch nodded contentedly and once again instructed Ren Fei to get up. Ren Fei also started eating again. Soon, the contents of the food box were swept away by Ren Fei. The old eunuch tidied up and then left. He stayed for a long time, which was not a good thing for Ren Fei. The old eunuch left. The panel of the life simulator has once again appeared in front of us. Host. Ren Fei, identity. Fake eunuch of the Southern Palace, realm. Grade 9, mind method. Yin Yang Secret Classic, golden, martial arts. Currently unavailable, talent. 100 meridians with Tong Tong, red, good stamina, blue, can be replaced before 0 o'clock, inference point. 10-20 points. I deduced several times last night, but the randomly selected talents are only some white and blue talents. At the same time, he once again realized the danger of the Southern Palace. After several deductions, he never managed to survive for a month. And he also discovered a very terrifying thing. That's because he has made changes now, and many things will also change in the future. But in the end, after wandering around, he still managed to meet the third princess, Luoqing. Looking at the cause of his death again on the 17th day, you were joking with several palace maids from Changqiu Palace. When Luoqing, who was in a rage, saw you and became furious. You are dead on the 23rd day. You took a nap and happened to be bumped into by Luoqing. Luoqing didn't like you. You're dead on the 15th day. Your calligraphy was too beautiful. Luoqing gave the things you copied to the Empress, but she saw through them at a glance. Luoqing was furious and you died. Every time I die because of the sunny weather in Nanluo. And no matter how hard you try to avoid it, you can't escape. Now, he has basically confirmed it. This woman is really restraining him. Since we can't avoid it, why not face the difficulties and rise up? An idea suddenly came to Ren Fei's mind, and his eyes lit up again. By following Luoqing's side, he was able to use the simulator to discover more details and weaknesses of the other party. And then promptly avoid, and even take advantage of these weaknesses to turn passivity into initiative. Of course, the risk of doing so is also enormous. He has already experienced the terror of Luoqing in the simulator. The women really like to kill eunuchs who don't like them, just as the rumor says. No wonder there isn't even a eunuch in Changqiu Palace. With such thoughts in mind, Ren Fei did not hesitate and once again opened a new life simulation. Random talent generation in progress. Skilled cooking. Blue talent. With this talent, you will obtain skilled cooking skills and cook delicious meals. Detailed. Blue talent. With this talent, your observation ability will be greatly improved. Calligraphy white. With this talent, you will have the basic knowledge of calligraphy and the ability to have neat and beautiful fonts. Talent generation successful, life simulation begins. On the second day, you decide to take the initiative to attack. Since you can't avoid it, then face the difficulties and conquer Luoqing on the third day. You will go to the library as usual to clean up, and at the same time, you will know in advance the location of several books that Luoqing is looking for. Dongli Poetry Collection, click to find location information, article reflection, click to find location information, Fenya, click to find location confidence information, author's bacteria. Is anyone watching? Readers who think it's pretty good, gentlemen, bookkeepers. Kneel down and beg for your flowers, tips, monthly tickets, review tickets, and support in the comments section. Chapter 8. Golden Talent and Wolf Ambition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the fourth day, in your leisure time, you read 3 books by Luoqing and found that compared to the poems, songs, and essays from the world before you traveled, these were just some nonsense. Even worse than that, on the 5th day, you were surprised to find that this world not only lags behind in poetry and prose, but also has many shortcomings in other cultures, technologies, and even governance methods. On the 8th day, you finally arrived at Luoqing. With your explanation, Nan Luoqing looked up to you and took you back to Changqiu Palace. At the same time, I have assigned you the task of copying 3 books. Dongli Poetry Collection, Essay Reflections, and Fenya. You know, it turned out that Nan Luoqing was scolded by the Empress and punished for copying these 3 books because she only enjoyed practicing martial arts and didn't like reading and writing, and didn't even look like a princess. That's why I've been feeling down all along. In the evening, you went to the kitchen to make a fish soup and named it Xingxiangxing, which was deeply loved by Nan Luoqing. Your originally unhappy mood improved a lot. On the 9th day, early in the morning, you cooked a lean meat congee, which was recognized by Nan Luoqing again, and asked you to cook for her every day. On the 20th day, you cook for Nan Luoqing in various ways every day. Nan Luoqing has developed a slight dependence on your food, and at the same time, because of your usual speech and behavior, she appreciates you even more. On the 30th day, Nan Luoqing became increasingly dependent on your food and found it unpleasant to eat dishes made by others. The palace maids of the entire Changqiu Palace praised you incessantly, playing coquettishly and begging you to cook for them. This simulation is over. Cooldown time: 30 minutes. Congratulations to the host for successfully surviving in the simulator for 1 month. Reward host: 1000 deduction points. Tip: if the host successfully survives in the simulator for 1 month and you successfully leave novice mode, the simulation will change. The next simulation will display the simulation time in months, and the cooling time will also change. The simulation is over, and the host can choose to change or replace a talent. Ren Fei never expected that after living his first month, it was only because of a piece of fish soup. Even if he doesn't have culinary talent, he can make this thing himself. And how can there be rewards even after successfully living for a month? Replace strong physical strength with skilled culinary skills. Since culinary skills can break through, he naturally has to choose culinary skills. Successfully replaced. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the blue talent. Skilled cooking simulator. Isn't it possible to have a beginner's lottery with 1000 deduction points? How do we do it? Integrating his talents, Ren Fei's heart once again connected with the simulator. He has already reached the 2020 simulation point, which is enough for 2 basic lottery draws. The lottery is like when a simulator draws talents, it always makes people can't help but look forward to it. The host only needs to default to what lottery is needed, and the simulator will automatically deduct deduction points. The simulator also quickly provided a response. Ren Fei nodded knowingly and murmured in his heart. Conduct 2 preliminary lucky draws. A flickering white light. Ren Fei already knew that this time he had a chill. After deducting 1000 simulation points, the lucky draw was successful. Congratulations to the host for receiving 10,000 taels of silver ticket. White, looking at a silver bill worth 10,000 taels, Ren Fei's lips twitched slightly. It's not too bad either, at least 10,000 taels of silver bills are still a lot of money. Before Ren Fei could think much, another ray of light shone. The second lottery began accordingly. A golden light gradually magnified. Ren Fei's pupils contracted slightly. This is golden reward. Can you also draw gold items from the beginner lottery? Ren Fei's small heart accelerated once again, feeling disheartened. Be sure to give him something useful. Deducting 1000 simulation points, successful lucky draw. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the golden talent. Culinary skills, golden talent. Cooking. He has just deduced the path to survival for the next month. That's to feed Nan Luoqing. Now he has been directly endowed with a golden culinary talent. Sleep off and send pillows. Ren Fei can no longer suppress his heartbeat. My whole blood was boiling, and a sentence suddenly came to mind. To capture a woman's heart, one must first grasp her stomach. Blue-level cooking skills can make Nan Luoqing rely on the dishes he cooks, but can gold-level cooking skills really win Nan Luoqing's heart? At this moment Ren Fei really developed a wolf-like ambition. There are countless evil plans in my heart. A palace maid. What he wants is a princess. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the golden talent. Cooking. After fusion, you will reach the pinnacle of culinary skills, and there will be no delicacies in the world that you cannot make. May I ask if the host has fused? Fusion. Without any hesitation, Ren Fei chose to merge directly. The golden light in front of him flickered again, and then turned into a beam of light, directly pouring into Ren Fei's eyebrows. Next moment countless knowledge about cooking has begun to flood into my mind. Sour, sweet, bitter, spicy, salty, crispy and numb, fried, steamed, fried, stewed, baked, knife cutting, cooking, carving, cooking, taste, various cuisines, local snacks, specialty cuisine, and more are all available. Continuously integrating into the mind. Ren Fei also closed his eyes and lay on the bed, feeling it carefully. Time flies again. Opening your eyes again, the half-hour cooling time of the simulator has already passed. The sunlight that could have been shining into the room has long disappeared. The little eunuchs lying on the beds next to them also woke up one by one, muttering in a low mournful voice. Ren Fei slowly opened his eyes. The overall aura of the person has also undergone another change. In the field of culinary arts, he can already be considered the true number one in the world. Cooking skills come first and foremost, and there is still a sense of momentum. Of course quickly, the momentum dissipated. Ren Fei once again regained his ordinary feeling. Cooking skills cannot ultimately be transformed into military force, and until there is absolute certainty of self-protection, everything is primarily low-key. Simulate again. After 2 rounds of junior lottery, Ren Fei obtained a golden talent, and now he is somewhat eager to obtain deduction points. Moreover, his original blue talent and culinary proficiency are no longer useful, and he needs to switch to another one. Chapter 9. Memory Enhancement, Big Mistake. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Random talent generation in progress. Memory Enhancement. Purple talent. With this talent, your memory will be greatly improved, allowing you to quickly remember many things. Meticulous. Blue talent. With this talent, your observation ability will be greatly improved, and you can discover many details in a timely manner. Introduction to medicine. White talent. With this talent, you will have the basic knowledge of medicine. Another purple talent appeared, and Ren Fei's eyes lit up. He has good luck today. Talent generation successful, life simulation begins. In April of the 151st year of the Southern Calendar, you successfully overcame danger through your superb cooking skills and easily captured the stomach of the third princess, Luoqing, making it difficult to swallow the food cooked by others. In your spare time, you start reading books on various aspects to fill yourself, enhance your experience, and broaden your horizons. But you find that the knowledge in many books is very shallow, even nonsensical. You have risen in status in the Changqiu Palace and become the kitchen god in the hearts of all the palace maids. At the same time, your foresight and strategy beyond modern times were discovered by Luoqing, and you were highly appreciated, successfully becoming Luoqing's attendant eunuch in May of the 151st year of the Southern Calendar. Luoqing presented the dishes you made to Empress Nanyanyu to taste. Empress Longyan was overjoyed and promoted you to the position of deputy director of the imperial kitchen, but still served Luoqing in the Changqiu Palace. One night, you unexpectedly discovered 2 eunuchs sneaking around as if they were going to do something. Hello, Chiwei followed the 2 of them to a place, clicked to view location information, and they dug up an old but very exquisite box from a hidden corner. You accidentally made some noise and were discovered by 2 people. They turned out to be experts who had infiltrated the palace. You're dead. I finally managed to get out of this and just died like this. Curiosity really killed the cat. But that place hides an old box. Ren Fei directly clicked on the location information and looked at the specific location. The imperial palace of the southern kingdom is heavily guarded, with powerful masters like the Empress sitting there. These two people are taking such a big risk to enter the palace and look for something. It's definitely not that simple. He is not familiar with the palace now, and he doesn't know exactly where it is. He can only remember the location information and go check it out later. Anyway, there's still 1 or 2 months left. Post-death, simulation is over. This simulation lasts for 2 months with a cooldown of 20 minutes. Congratulations to the host, who has survived in the simulator for 2 months and obtained 1,000 deduction points. The simulation is over, and the host can choose to change or replace a talent. The settlement jumped out. The cooldown time has been reduced, and the deduction points for survival rewards have increased. Replace skilled culinary skills with memory enhancement. Through several deductions last night, he has most likely figured out the probability of this random talent appearing with quality. White and blue are considered ordinary. Purple can already be considered rare, while red is extremely rare. As for gold, it's like a lottery wheel, only when luck is against the sky can it appear. And memory enhancement, this thing is absolutely practical. No one will find their memory too good. Successfully replaced. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the purple talent. Memory enhancement, prompt sound drops. Ren Fei felt that his entire mind had become much clearer again. Even many things that were already almost forgotten in previous lives have become clear. If placed in modern times, with this talent, he can easily become a top student. Looking at his own cause of death, Ren Fei couldn't help but sigh. If it weren't for meeting those two people this time, he should have lived a few more months. Looking at the deduction information on a monthly basis, Ren Fei's heart became increasingly helpless. Now it seems that the beginner mode is the most comfortable, where you can see the changes deduced every day and avoid various problems in a timely manner. But now, the information given has become blurred. The difficulty for him to continue surviving in this palace has become even greater. A beginner's lottery, let's use it. Previously, 2 consecutive draws gave him a golden talent, which directly made him addicted. Cooking skills taught him the horror of golden talent. If he could have another one, even if he didn't receive any deduction information, he would still have confidence to thrive in this palace. After deducting 1,000 simulation points, the lucky draw was successful. Congratulations to the host for receiving a small seasoning gift pack, white. It seems that he still thinks too much. Golden talent is not just a street vendor, how could it be released casually? Seasoning gift pack. A white item that can be opened to receive Sichuan pepper, star anise, cinnamon, grass fruit, etc. Weight for 100 grams of seasoning each. Although it is a white item, it is not completely useless, and many of the seasonings may not be easily found by searching. Little brother, considering your handsome appearance and good temperament, why do you think of becoming a eunuch? A weak voice came in his ear, and Ren Fei turned his head to look over. It was one of the few new eunuchs lying on his left side recovering. Ren Fei shook his head lightly without explaining, but asked in reverse. What about you? How could you also become a eunuch? Half an hour of cooldown time, he's quite boring alone. I'm hungry. The person spoke with a bitter expression on their face. I'm not afraid you'll laugh at me. Actually, I haven't had enough to eat for a year. Coming here, although you can't be a man, it's better than starving to death. And there are also 20 taels of silver, which is enough for my family's expenses for several years. How much? Ren Fei was stunned for a moment, and his tone suddenly changed. 20 taels. Titanium. Those damn guys only gave him 3 taels. Isn't that right? The person cast an inquiring gaze. No, that's right. Ren Fei's mouth twitched, and he had already cursed the ancestors who had been killed by the heavens for 18 generations in his heart. Are you all 20 taels? Ren Fei looked at the other eunuchs who gradually regained consciousness and were looking at the other eunuchs here. Several people also nodded one after another. Is he the only one with a big grudge? Suddenly, Ren Fei didn't want to chat with these little eunuchs anymore. Chapter 10. A Sad Love Story. New Dilemmas. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ren Fei remained silent, while the other eunuchs started chatting with each other. Ren Fei didn't do anything else, just listening beside him. These few eunuchs were basically displaced and almost starved to death due to natural disasters in the past 2 years. Clear the current situation in the southern region is even more serious than he imagined. Of course, these are not things he can worry about for the time being. He should first ponder how to survive in this perilous palace. 20 minutes will pass quickly. Ren Fei has once again launched a new simulation. Random talent generation in progress. Planting and cultivation. Blue talent. With this talent, you will have good planting skills. Skilled military strategy. Blue talent. With this talent, your military strategy will be improved. Not bad speed. Blue talent. With this talent, your speed will be greatly improved. 3 blue talents. Ren Fei also discovered, these talents are really diverse and everything. I don't know if he has a chance to gather all these talents. In April of the 151st year of the southern calendar, while searching for treasures in the palace, you encountered the second princess Nanluru with a lost expression. You cooked a meal for her, enlightened her, and received Nanluru's praise. Nanluru wanted to take you to Chongqing Palace, but was rejected by Luoqing in May of the 151st year of the southern calendar. You were promoted to the position of deputy director of the imperial kitchen and immediately became a celebrity in the palace. Countless eunuchs and palace maids in the palace showed great respect to you, and many even secretly sent you gifts. You refused to accept everything you received in June of the 151st year of the southern calendar. You received an opportunity to leave the palace and successfully escaped. Luoqing was furious and immediately dispatched palace experts to catch you back. I watched as I finally had a chance to leave the palace, but I never expected it. For the sake of him being such a small fake eunuch, how could Luoqing dispatch a skilled expert? In July 151 of the southern calendar, you hid in Tibet, but were caught. Finally, your martial arts were abandoned and you were taken back to the imperial palace. Luoqing hanged you up and fought all day and all night, but almost didn't survive. It's not easy for Luoqing not to kill him. However, I didn't expect to be caught so quickly. Now it seems that leaving the palace is not necessarily a good thing. Whether inside or outside the palace, the most important thing is to have strength. Otherwise, it would be very dangerous everywhere. If Luoqing is taken care of, even if he stays in the palace all the time, it doesn't seem unacceptable. In August of the 151st year of the southern calendar, under the instigation of Yang Bo, the Minister of War, who was actually a spy planted by Dongli in the southern country, Dongli Kingdom took the opportunity to invade the southern country, and the southern border became urgent. At the same time, there were 4 rebellions within the southern region, with tens of thousands of troops including Tang Si from Weishan in Hangzhou and Zhang Tianba from Quanzhou rebelling, causing internal and external troubles within the southern region. Coupled with 2 consecutive years of natural disasters, the hearts of the people in the southern region have become scattered, and the southern region is in imminent danger. In September of the 151st year of the southern calendar, Luoqing was ordered to lead his army to Yangzhou to suppress the rebellion. You accompanied him on the expedition. You were attacked on Guanling Road and suffered heavy casualties. Luoqing was seriously injured and fell into a coma in order to save you. You fled to a village with Luoqing, spending time together, patiently taking care of her, and developing feelings over time. Luoqing fell deeply in love with you, but unfortunately, she was already at the end of her life and unable to turn the tide. In October of the 151st year of the southern calendar, you confessed to Luoqing and claimed to be a fake eunuch. Later, Luoqing died with a smile on her face. Soon after, you were found by the pursuers and died. How could it turn into a poignant love story despite being pushed and pushed? Good guy, can Luoqing really fall in love with this fake eunuch like him? However, this tragic ending was not what he wanted. With a simulator, he wouldn't let such a thing happen. Meanwhile, the situation is also the same as he thought before. For 2 consecutive years, natural disasters have caused people to be displaced, and the court has not provided proper resettlement and handling measures. As expected, they have been taken advantage of by those with intentions. Cold lips and teeth. He is now a fake eunuch in the imperial palace of the Southern Kingdom. If the Southern Kingdom is really conquered one day, his life will not be easy either. Post-death, simulation is over. This simulation lasts for 7 months, with a cooldown of 1 hour and 10 minutes. Congratulations to the host, who has survived in the simulator for 7 months and obtained 3,500 deduction points. The simulation is over, and the host can choose to change or replace a talent. The deduction was over, and Ren Fei nodded in satisfaction as he saw that he had obtained 3,500 deduction points in one go. If calculated based on the beginner's period, the maximum time for a month is 310 points, and the deduction time is even longer. Now it's quite similar. Although I cannot look carefully, at least I can still see further and have more opportunities for deduction. He can also plan ahead for many things that will happen in the future. This time, he also obtains several important information. The first one is that he has an opportunity to leave the palace in June. But this opportunity attracted the pursuit of experts, and in the end, their martial arts skills were all ruined, which was not a wise choice. Another is the invasion by Dongli, with the support of Yang Bo as a spy. Several people within the territory rebelled, and the southern country directly exploded. And the attack on Guanling Road is also a very important point. If it can be avoided, handled well, and the battlefield situation can be reversed, it is not a problem. Of course, these pieces of information, except for the first one which is directly related to him, are all indirect. Even with his current identity as a eunuch, it is impossible for anyone to believe that Yang Bo is a spy and that those few people would rebel. Don't say it, it would be bad if it could lead to personal injury. As for how to solve it, he has no idea now. We can only see if there are any opportunities to break through in the future, such as deduction or talent. Organize the thoughts in my mind. Ren Fei once again remained calm and focused. The internal force cyclone in Dantian began to rotate again, with threads of internal force generated from the cyclone and gradually converging together. 3,500 deduction points. He was not in a hurry to use it. He wants to save up 10,000 deduction points and try the intermediate lottery to see if he can draw better things.